So Dana White's Contender Series Season 9 just wrapped up, and I honestly think that out of all of the Dana White's Contender Series seasons so far, this was the best one. The last 2 weeks were just insane. Crazy knockouts, crazy fights. And I'm going to say this, man. I think out of all of the UFC's side projects, and by side projects, I mean things like The Ultimate Fighter, UFC BJJ, Power Slap, I think Dana White's Contender Series is probably the most entertaining. I mean, just as a fan of the sport of MMA, the stakes are so high. The fights are always delivering. What is there not to fucking love about Dana White's Contender Series? But I thought it would be fun in today's video to go through the top prospects from the Contender Series this year and say who I think are the best 10. So I, Tony's Died, will be giving you the top 10 prospects out of Season 9 for Dana White's Contender Series. Before we get into the fucking top 10 though, I've seen a little bit of a debate going on in the MMA community talking about The Ultimate Fighter versus Dana White's Contender Series. And I completely agree with the side that's saying we need to get rid of The Ultimate Fighter. The Ultimate Fighter is garbage, okay? It is completely terrible, and I'm going to reveal my reasons, all right? Look at that. We're doing some fancy shit. Look at that. First and foremost, the fighters that are actually good in the year of 2025 are going on the Dana White's Contender Series because one, it's an easier route. Like, it's a less tedious route. It's not an easier route because you're going to fight a harder fighter, but it's a less tedious route because you just train for one fight, you win in a good fashion, you're getting into the UFC. The Ultimate Fighter, the fighters that are in this fucking competition are terrible, bro. Look at who the Ultimate Fighter, like, look at Contender Series. We got people like O'Malley. We got people like JDM, Gene Silva, even a champion like Jamal Hill came off a fucking Contender Series. There's been no real talent from the Ultimate Fighter except for Brad Katona, you know? I'm just kidding. Listen, the fighters that fight on the Ultimate Fighter are the bottom of the barrel. They've even fought on Dana White's Contender Series before, and maybe they didn't make the cut, so they're like, all right, maybe you want another shot, come do the Ultimate Fighter. Like, these are the type of people that are showing up on the Ultimate Fighter, and the Contender Series actually has good prospects and good fighters, okay? The next thing I want to say is a reality TV. This isn't fucking 2009, okay? This isn't 2009 where, you know, we got Jersey Shore, we got fucking, you know, I don't even know other reality, like with Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever. You got shit like fucking, well, what is that one TV show called that all the girls like, the fucking Love Island? You got Love Island, all right? Maybe that's still a reality TV show, but I feel like men are the primary base for the UFC fans. And I feel like the space that reality TV used to take up is now taken up by streaming. Like, people watch streamers instead of watching reality TV, okay? And so I don't think that this, like, no one is going to want to watch. Like, first of all, the UFC is like a niche thing in and of itself. Like, compared to other sports, like, obviously it's not like, oh, bro, the UFC is so niche, bro. No, like, what I'm saying is, like, compared to NFL, NHL, NBA, basketball, you know, even soccer, or what you would call football, UFC is niche, okay? And then you got to get the super hardcore fans to watch these stupid ass drama episodes in PC shit with Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. Half the time the coaches don't even like the past 3 seasons. It was Chael Sonnen and DC as the coaches, and then it was Conor and Chandler, and then it was Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso, and then it was Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena. Like, who the fuck is like actually caring about these fights that the Ultimate Fighter is setting up? Maybe this is like back in the day, people cared about that type of shit, but today in the year of 2025, nobody cares about fucking the fight. Like, the coaches, like who they have been picking as the coaches are terrible. And I feel like the setup for Dana White's Contender Series, where it's like, you know, I'm actually, like, honestly, I should have just made this a whole video because this video is going to be long as fuck. This is going to be like a 30-minute video, 35-minute video. But, like, the stakes for Dana White's Contender Series, I think they're so much higher. than the Ultimate Fighter, where it's like, if you lose an Ultimate Fighter, you could win again and get back into the bracket. Maybe your opponent falls out, whatever. In Dana White's Contender Series, you get in front of the fucking CEO of the company and you just duke it out. And that's another thing what I'm trying to say is like the incentivization for the fucking fights, make them fucking good fights, bro. So let's move on to my next thing. Yeah, I already said this. The coaches have been mid as fuck. Like, who is actually watching? Like, dude. Like, the fact that Chandler and Connor didn't even fight each other is just like the epitome of my argument, bro. And this idea that, like, you can go into the fucking Contender Series and come out with a contract the next day. Like, Susar Kaya, for example, and there's somebody else who fought on that Australian card. His name is, like, a very lanky guy. He got the knockout over, not Marc-Andre Barriou. Julian Marquez, maybe? His name is Cam Roston. They've already fought in the UFC. They literally fought earlier this month. That is crazy, and that's like something like that makes you want to watch the actual pay-per-views. You know, like you look at who the Ultimate Fighter has, it's like Mo Usman. Like that's who's winning tough, bro. Mo Usman. And finally, bro, like these fights that are on the Contender Series actually matter. Like they count towards the people's records, and I'm invested in them. Versus on Tough, these people are fucking like, come on, bro. It's like an exhibition fight. And I know it's like has to be an exhibition fight because of how often they fight, and it's like I don't want to watch 2-round fights, man. Like I want to watch a full 3-round fight with high stakes that matters. And I just don't think the Ultimate Fighter brings that. So I'm actually drinking Sprite like a whole. I got a whole a liter of Sprite Zero, and I'm just sitting here drinking it right now. So delicious. But that's why I think you just got to get rid of Tough, bro. I think it's just Tough needs to go. Contender Series. We need to keep this Contender Series. I think the Contender Series is the best thing the UFC has done in quite some time. And yeah, I'll get rid of Tough, bro. That's my point. But let's get into the actual video itself, which are the top 10 fighters off of Dana White's Contender Series this year. At number 10, we got Iwo. I'm not even, like, these fucking names, bro. I can't, like, the Polish names, and it's sad because I'm, like, my DNA, I'm majority Polish, like, majority Poland, Eastern European, whatever. I cannot ever pronounce the fucking Polish names, but I think his name is Iwo Baranitsky. He fights out of Poland. He's friends with Joanna Jędrzejczyk. He's 6-0. And in the Contender Series, they fought this guy named Muhammad Ali, who was also undefeated. Not to be confused with the boxing legend Muhammad Ali. Kind of became a little bit of a meme. But he fought Muhammad Ali, knocked him out quick. One of the fastest knockouts we've seen on Contender Series. And I'm pretty sure it was like 20 seconds in, he just knocks him out. This guy is not like, this isn't just some scrub either, the Muhammad Ali guy. He's like one of the best jiu-jitsu people that they've had on the Contender Series for a while. They'll definitely give him another shot in the future. I think that this Polish guy, Iwo Baranitsky, I think he's going to be pretty good. So, but the point of this list is so that you can go to your friends and basically be like, oh yeah, man, I've been a fan of Iwo Baranitsky for quite some time. Yeah, I knew he was going to be a champion. Like, this is the whole point of making this video. And so I can say, yeah, I knew this guy was going to be fucking good one day, man. I think Iwo Baranitsky, he has really good power in his hands. He's got all finishes in his fights. Even on the amateur scene, he only has a couple of losses. But even on the amateur scene, he has a bunch of finishes as well. So, yeah, man, I like this guy. I think he's going to be a good force in the division. I'm pretty sure he's the 205er. Fuck with him, bro. 205 is not that deep of a division either. So it's like, I'm actually about to bring this up in my next pick, which is Josh Hokett, who I don't actually think is like all that. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Josh Hokett is just going to be, I don't think he's like going to be champion. I'll say that. I don't think that Josh Hokett's going to be champion, but I do think he's going to be a ranked heavyweight. I think he's going to be in the heavyweight rankings for quite some time because he has really decent wrestling and he has a really good ability to find finishes in these fights. All of his fights have come by finish. He's 6-0 now. He finished this guy on the ground, took him down, beat him up, dominated him in the first round, and then he finished him off with some elbows on the ground in the second round. I think he's got a fight already scheduled for November. He's going to be fighting in the UFC. But the reason I have him at number 9 is for number 1, heavyweight isn't that deep. I think he's good enough to be ranked at some point in his career. And number 2, I think that this guy is going to talk trash. And I like that from these kind of people, bro. I like the fact that you talk trash, that you try to sell your fights, that you're going to try and make a name for yourself, because then you get leniency with the UFC. And that's what these fighters don't understand, is that if they actually talk shit during their fights, they get more favorable matchups. People don't understand that. It's like, if you actually get hype generated behind your name from talking smack, look at Colby. Look at Connor. Look at all these people who have Dana White privilege. They all yap, you know? Yapping is one of the best bases for getting good matchups, and I like that for Josh Hokett. So that's why I got to have him at number 9, bro. At number 8 on my list, we got the real Patricio. Look at this guy. He looks just like Patricio Pitbull, huh? And I honestly think that this guy is going to be really good. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, he has his record is kind of ugly. He's 13-5, but all of his losses come from like early. He's on like a 6-fight win streak or 5-fight win streak. Here's what I'm going to say, bro. I don't think that beating Cam Teague is like all that. Cam Teague is like I hope we never have to see Cam Teague on Contender Series ever again, because it just seems like every time he's there, he gets fucking flat. But the knockout that this Lorraine Douglas guy, this is the real Aaron Pico. This is the real Aaron Pico. He had a crazy knockout. He's on a 5-fight knockout streak, all in the first round. I like this guy. He went out there. He got the finish fast. Lorraine Douglas, I'm going to start glazing you, bro. I think he's got you know how these fighting nerds, they have a couple of losses before they got to the UFC, but they've been on crazy win streaks as of recently? That's kind of the same energy that I'm getting from this guy, bro. So I like him as one of my top prospects from Dana White's Contender Series. The next one we need to talk about is Hector Sosa. Listen, Hector Sosa, he's on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-fight win streak. And he only has 1 loss in his professional career. So 10 fights in a row. He's from Spain, so he's got to have a good fan base behind him. And he went out there in his fight, and he died. This is the only person that I put on the list that went to a decision, I'm pretty sure. But just the way that he looked in the fight, he looked super on. And his father, pretty sure his father passed away right before he fought in Dana White's Contender Series. But I think that in this fight, he looked very good. He looked just with the eye test, he looked good. He took his opponent down whenever he wanted. He beat him up the whole time. Yeah, man. I think Hector Sosa is going to be a pretty good fighter. He's got a good fan base behind him as well. And I'm pretty sure he knows Ilya Topuria as well. The next guy we need to talk about is Damian Penis. Yeah, Damian Penis fighting out of, pretty sure, what flag is this? What the fuck is this flag? You can't see the screen I'm looking at, but he fights out of Aruba. Aruba, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I've never heard I've heard of Aruba before, but I've never seen their flag. But I'm getting off topic here. His name is Penis, bro. There's gonna be memes, but just because his name is Penis isn't the reason I have him at number 6. The reason I have him at number 6 is because, dude, this guy he just seems like an athletic freak. He has the Atiba Gautier African energy, but he actually seems like he has he's not just raw power. He has the physicality, but he actually looks technical. This guy, he's a middleweight. He has all knockouts in his fucking wins as well. And they all come in the first or second round. His only loss is to an illegal kick that he threw. And so he really should be undefeated. Kind of sucks he's not, because I'm sure this would be great. Like, undefeated penis. Just imagine that. I got one of those as well, all right? But I think Damian Penis is really good, bro. He threw those 1-2. He has really long, straight shots, bro. You know? I think, look, jokes aside, I actually think he's pretty good. 185, like these, like, that's what I'm trying to, the point I'm trying to make with this video is like 185, 205, heavyweight, they all need new blood in them, and I think someone like Mr. Penis here will be a good inclusion, all right? At number 5 on the list, I got, I can't even say his first name, but Susarkayev, who's already fought in the UFC, got his first win over Eric Nolan. And he's got another fight scheduled already. This guy trains with Chimaev, if you didn't know. And the reason I have him at number 5 and not a little bit lower is because he did struggle a lot against Eric Nolan, and it seems like they're going to give him a bunch of layups. Like, he's going to fight Eric McConaughey next. Like, come on. That's an easy W, all right? But the UFC likes him. Got to put him higher on the list for those reasons. But he's undefeated. He's Chechen. He got a nasty body kick knockout in his Dana White's Contender Series fight, and then he got the fight over Eric Nolan where he rear naked choked him. I think that this guy is going to be a pretty decent name floating around the division, but he did face a little bit of adversity against Eric Nolan, which is not a great look. But Susarkayev, I think he's going to be around here for a while. At number 4 on my list, this guy actually trains under Daniel Cormier. His name is Tommy Gant. Tommy Gant. Now, he is a bit old for prospect. He's 32 years old, and he doesn't really have that many... he's 11-0, but I'm pretty sure he's gotten all of his fights. Yeah, he's gotten all of his fights since 2024. That's crazy, bro. He's had 10 fights in a year. Isn't that actually insane? Holy shit. 10 fights in 1 year. Tommy Nat, is that how you say it? It's either Gant or Nat. Oh, I think it's Gant. Yeah, let me just have to change that real quick. Gant. Boop, 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 boop. Space. But Tommy Gant, he's 11-0, and he has all knockouts or submissions in his fights. He goes out there to, like, this guy looks like John Jones, and he trains. It looks like DC like collected John Jones's DNA and recreated him, because he looks like John Jones. He's built like John Jones, and he low-key fights like him too. So I like Tommy Gant going forward. I think he's a pretty valuable prospect for the UFC. The next fight we need to the next fighter I want to talk about is Curtis Campbell, who is 8-0. He has like Patty Pimblett ass energy to him, bro. He has all finishes. Like, this is what I'm talking about. The season has been fucking phenomenal. Like, it was so hard for me to pick who were my top 10. Curtis Campbell, all finishes, got a knockout in the first round against Dimba Sek in his Dana White's Contender Series fight. Apart from that, rear naked choke, knockout, you got a decision, knockout, submission, knockout. Like, he's got a great record. He did what he had to do on Dana White's Contender Series, and he was talking his shit too after he got the finish. I'm glad that we're signing one of these hot UK prospects without them going to Cage Warriors. It will be an interesting test. I fuck with this guy, Curtis Campbell. At number 2, I got John Pork. I would like to introduce you to my teammate, John Pork. Chanko, the wild Chanko, Magomed, Zen, I don't even know how to say it. Like, I'm just going to call him John Pork. Fuck it. I think you say Zunikov. Fuck it, bro. You're John Pork forever. Dude, John Pork, he broke the, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was the divisional record for lightweight most punches thrown or landed, or the Dana White's Contender Series record. But he showed really good, like, he obviously trains with all the brothers like Khabib, Islam, Umar, and that's always going to put you higher on my list just because that team seems to be an elite team to study around and train around. But he's like Holloway, bro. Like, he was moving like Holloway in there, throwing crazy punches, throwing crazy shit. I think that John Pork is going to be very good going forward in the UFC. I want to pump the brakes a little bit on him, though, because I've seen some people be like, Taporia, count your days. John Pork is coming. Like, can we calm down? He still got dropped in the first round. Okay? But after he recovered, he looked like he should have been in the top 15. You know? Like, he looked like I reckon this guy would beat Drew. Like, if they get, like, Drew Dober, he would smoke Drew Dober. I think this guy could beat, like, a Jakar Close. Maybe, like, you know, get him a couple of fights and give him a Dariush, you know? And that's the kind of shit I want to see from John Pork, bro. I think he's going to be pretty good in the division. Trains with the brothers. Had a phenomenal, like, I'm pretty sure this guy's, like, Muay Thai, like, has some crazy Muay Thai, like, accolades as well. So, definitely want to see more from him going forward. And this is who I think is good, the best. I think this guy, I'm calling it right here. And this is going to, if this guy just turns out to be shit, I'm going to look so bad. But I think Michael Oliveira is going to be a future champion. He's 170 pounds. I'm telling you, this guy, his physique is insane, especially for 170. He has insane power in his hands. He's undefeated. He's already fought in the feeder organization, LFA, which is like, that's already, like, LFA is a step up from just like these bottom feeders that these other prospects have been fighting on. He's got like, actual experience against actual other good fighters. He's like his knockout, like, dude, he threw crazy 1-2, like his straights, his hooks. He had like, this guy looked like a hybrid between Poirier and Carlos Prates, except he's giant for the division and he's actually got like a physique that's crazy. I'm gonna call it right now. I think this guy's a future champion. Watch him just fucking. Watch him just get fraud checked by fucking, I don't even know, like Carlos Leal in his debut, or watch him get fraud checked by fucking like Eric McConaughey, Cody Brundage or some shit in his debut, and I just look like a complete idiot. But I was watching this fight, and dude, I think that the guy that he fought, the Victor Venezuela guy, I think he looked pretty good as well. And he destroyed him in that second round, just broke him. And so I think Michael Oliveira is the best fighter off of Dana White's Contender Series. But that will do it for the video. If you like the video, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube shit. Thank you guys so much for checking out the channel. It means so much to me. You guys have no idea. I really appreciate you guys checking in on my work. Helps me put the fucking lights on, you know? So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.